Welcome back to another episode of Ultras 11. I'm Joe.
And I'm Alex.
And today we have the privilege of being welcomed. Well, not welcomed, but coming to join us today is we got Tony. We got him back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tony, we actually sent him to Italy to do a little bit of scouting for us because Serie A is around the corner. So we got him to go look at all the teams training, making sure they were all okay. But before we get started on anything and we start to ask Tony these questions, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, our Twitter, our TikTok, our Instagram, all the social media platforms.
At UltrasXI.
Yeah, there you go. See, tech guy.
Plug
I'm
it
not
in.
the tech guy. But hey, To, welcome back from your trip.
Oh, thank you very much.
How's it going? Was it good? Everything was good?
It's good.
Did you see any top prospects coming up now?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Got some of them?
Just in Crotone, though, nowhere
Just in
else.
Crotone.
Yeah, that's it.
He's part of the Crotone Ultras now.
Yeah.
He was officially inducted into the Ultras.
Ultras. Yes.
All right, To, to get into this. So last year we had Napoli. They won the Scudetto.
Yes.
But this year they lost their coach, so they don't have Spalletti anymore. They got that guy Rudy Garcia. They lost Kim Min-jae. They lost Zielinski. Am I forgetting anyone else? No, that's it, right? Well, I don't know where you're going right now. Al's disappearing. All right. Do you see them finishing in first place again, or do you see them being?
No, personally, I don't think so.
No, why?
I think last year maybe was just a special year for them. And plus, don't forget, there's a lot of our big teams, which they were not there.
My big teams, you mean Juve, for sure.
No, thank you. So I think everything was, well, they had a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, they play good. They deserve that.
Mhm.
But I don't think this year they're going to do the same. I will say top four, but not to win the Scudetto again.
Do you think Napoli was almost like remember Leicester City in the English league? How everybody kind of that year didn't do too well, and they took advantage and they ended up winning. Do you think Napoli's going to kind of do the same
it's
kind of
thing?
thing?
It's going to be exactly the same. Go look what happened the year after.
Yeah, I know they couldn't do anything.
They
They
couldn't do
sold
anything.
some of their guys. They thought they were still going to be good, but they couldn't keep it going.
I was going to say
They
that.
couldn't do it.
I think that's I think Napoli still will be a decent team, obviously, because the competition in Italy isn't the best. But
Yeah, but don't forget that the transfer is still
to transfer market.
window.
the transfer window is still no. I think it's the end of the
End of August, yeah.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah.
I think if somebody goes to Mr. De Laurentiis and offer good money for her, he'll take the money.
Yeah. Especially now with Neymar going to Saudi, you never know. The PSG can come in last second and try
actually-
to go all in for
yeah.
Osimhen.
Or even Kvaratskhelia, because nobody's apparently linked with him.
I know that's why I feel like everyone's kind of waiting for another season of him to kind of see how he does. But
yeah.
I think with Osimhen, it's like he's kind of proven a little bit because he's done over a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he was healthy and not dead for that one season. But I think he's going to be a guy that you might see later in the transfer window.
Yeah.
But
He might be gone.
until the end. We don't know.
Yeah.
So right now, but they could be something.
Yeah.
Do you-
And Napoli gets pulled apart even more.
Do you think Osimhen could be as good as he was last year for Napoli? Or do you think that was kind of like one of those one-off things? He was good then and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't
I
think,
think sometime you have a great year, beautiful. You think next year, oh, this guy's gonna, and then come next year and
Yeah.
Yeah, prime example. Obviously, Osimhen's still younger, but
Yeah.
Belotti. That season, he had an amazing season. They were Milan wanted him. They were demanding $100 million for him, nothing less, because he was that good and had that much of an amazing season.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, after that, he can just never replicate that season.
Yeah.
No.
He never came close.
Us Roma fans are experiencing that firsthand. The fact that he hasn't scored a goal last year.
Exactly. And like Osimhen's younger, he can still he still has a lot of room to grow, but you could see it end up being like that. Now he's worth 150, 200 mil, and then next year, they're going to be struggling to even try to get an offer for him.
Yeah, and who's to say he doesn't pick up a serious injury? Respectfully, I don't hope that happens, obviously. But who's to say,
you've
right?
seen he's had some timely injuries in the past.
Yeah.
They could come back. It could be a thing that this season it puts him out for a majority of the season.
I think Spalletti set a kind of standard for them. They did well in Serie A. They actually made a good Champions League push to making the semifinals. And now Rudy Garcia comes in, and respectfully to him, you saw what he did with Roma. What did he really do? Finish in second place to Juve? That
he couldn't.
He won
Couldn't get it done.
the championship with Lille that one time, but that was also a more diluted French league. It wasn't an impressive feat that he did that.
Yeah.
But switching teams now, we got Milan. We're going to talk about quickly. Milan sold Tonali for a lot of money. In the past, a lot of people are saying like buying a lot of players is the wrong thing to do. You should get 2 or 3 stars.
Yes.
Do you think Milan did the right thing with the money that they got from Tonali? Or should they have kept it more like let's buy 1 or 2 guys and that's it?
I would have still gone with another 1 or 2 guys. Like
Yeah.
Something better, spend a bit more money,
Spend a
but
little bit
get
more
a
money.
couple.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we remember Milan, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
They spent something like 220 million, something around
Yeah.
there, and they pick up 7 players.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna be this guy's good, is good, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling this year is gonna be almost the same.
Yeah. See, I feel like
I said the same thing, man.
I feel like with them, like they got all these guys, and don't get me wrong, they look good,
Yeah.
but
they're making they're pleasing the fans because fans at the end of every window, no matter what, even if the team's doing good, you want to see transfers. It's just exciting. You want to see, oh, my team signed this guy here, my team signed this guy. Now they're making all the fans happy. You know, they're bringing up the sales in the States by signing Pulisic. They're doing that, but can these guys actually do it for Milan? Are they good enough to play for like Milan's not just like a you're not taking anything away from like a Parma or whatever, but they're not a team like that. Like Milan's Milan, like their name itself is big and it holds a big, like a heavy. It's a heavy name to hold.
Yeah.
With signing some of these guys, man, they're like very, very questionable.
But even let's say you take a Pulisic, like when you go to Illinois, it's a different different thing.
Oh, yeah.
Is he gonna adjust to that or what?
That's exactly what I said. And in Italy, they're like they'll take his legs off. He tries doing those moves, whatever. That guy was made out of glass last year. If he starts getting hit like that in Serie, how long is he gonna last? 1, 2, 3 games until he's out for 9?
Yeah. One of the biggest problems last year that Milan had was probably like their defense. If Tomori was injured, nobody really replaced Tomori.
But even Tomori last year, man, like he did not even come close to that Scudetto year.
Yeah,
like last year, and like you can even ask Milan fans because I've seen them all like on Twitter even saying it. Tomori, like he last year and even this year in preseason he has been probably their worst defender.
No, he's definitely taken like a step back and not what he was and like the hype and whatever. But in saying that, like I feel like Milan didn't really address other problems.
No.
Like, okay, they replaced Tonali technically with like 4 guys, but they didn't really address their defense.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be one of their problems this year.
I think it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
Because you got Tomori, it's going to do nothing. Last, and what's the other guy?
Kalulu?
No. Well,
Kier.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, when he was healthy and everything, he was.
But he's getting older now.
But that's so. What
after injury like that,
for defense this year when you really think?
And even that, what's that guy they signed last year?
Shaw.
Is that his name?
I think I'm saying it wrong. It's pronounced like it's spelled Thea.
That guy there again, and I'm not just me saying this like a Juventino being, but I've seen Milan fans saying how bad he is. If they're going to go into the season as that guy as their main center back, or Kalulu had half a good season in that position, Milan's fucked.
Well, look, even still, like you look at their right back situation. They have Calabria, who is like a decent right back, whatever. He's nothing to brag about, but he's a good enough right back.
Can't stay healthy for more than 2 games.
And then their backup to him is a guy who can't stay healthy for 2
more
games
than
as
3
well.
games.
Like that's like he's made out of glass. So I feel like they spent the Tonali money. Yes, they got wingers how they were supposed to, this guy, that guy, but their defense was always a problem.
Yeah.
There was no depth there. And Magnan too in net. Like I have a buddy, he's a Milan fan, and he saw like Sportiello play in the preseason. He literally looked at me, he's like, man, Magnan's injured, we're fucked.
Yeah, man.
He's like, I would have preferred our backup from last year.
And the thing is, I'll put money this season at some point, Magnan's gonna get not an injury 100%. That he missed the game. He's gonna get an injury that he misses a month or more. Yeah. Like it's just you feel that with him. Yeah, he could win games by himself, but if Milan are gonna try to rely on him for the season to get by, I'm telling you, man, they're up for a rude awakening.
Who's the second goalie?
Sportiello. Oh. And then after that is that guy Meranti.
Yeah. Which Sportiello, like, okay, maybe he's a little bit better than Tatarusanu, who they had last year. Yeah. But it's again not a guy like not to bring us in right now, but we're not like Milan's ahead of us. They just won a Scudetto 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like they should be, a little bit closer to kind of that already set team. Mm-hmm. And I don't care what anybody says, Pedin's a way better, even closer to a starter than Sportiello.
Oh yeah, I think Pedin starts on a lot of teams in Serie A.
Magnan, other than like the whole footwork thing, and that's our backup goalie.
I don't think he could go on par with Magnan.
Pedin's a phenomenal goalie.
Okay, not the Magnan.
Like, we're lucky that he's accepted. Dude, he's a starter at a lot of big teams.
100%. But Magnan is probably
better
the best
than both of
goalie
Inter's goalies right now.
Say, anyone's better than their goalies, man. I would say Bagnano's like the best goalie in the league when he's
man,
healthy.
Obviously,
like,
I'm
when
just
he's
saying.
healthy.
Petting's like he's not far off him, and he's our bench player.
Yeah, okay.
Like obviously, like Magnan's Magnan's better. Obviously, I'm not saying like Petting's like him. Wrong words to say they're on par, but like in saying like he's not far off Magnan, and he's our backup.
Yeah, don't forget, because if he was playing for Milan as a second goalie, Magnan was injured.
Yeah. They're okay.
Cover that.
Dude, last year when Chesney was hurt at the beginning of the year, we were in even better hands with Petty.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like Petty was playing phenomenal, and that's our second goalie.
Yeah,
even fucking Pigsy's better than Sportiello.
Who?
Pinsolio.
Oh, I thought you said Pigsy.
I did say Pigsy.
Like, who the fuck
That's
is
his nickname,
Pigsy?
Pigsy.
Oh, okay,
So weird. He's a pig now. But since you brought up Juve, and we are dealing with Juve fans,
I had to make the transition easy for you.
We gotta talk about Juve. So this year, last year was kind of a write-off. You guys, you have the points, you don't have the points, you have the points, you don't have the points, you're not in Europe, you're in Europe. We don't know what the fuck is even happening with
Beautiful
you.
roller coaster.
It was an annoying roller coaster being on the outside team there, like being Roma, whatever.
Can't imagine what it felt like for us.
But a lot of the fans, wanted Allegri out. Did you want Allegri out as well? Or did you like Allegri?
Well, you know something, it's for whatever happened last year, you cannot blame him too much.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sometimes with this play, you don't see as long he wins, but I'm saying you cannot put all that stuff on Allegri because with the problem that we had and the injury and this and that, so you really cannot judge him for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think in a way, if they would pick up, if the Juventus was to take another coach, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Okay. So it was one of those that you're not blaming him. Do you think he'll have a better year this year?
Well, I think this year, because they don't play any
other competitions,
it's one game per week, so he has to good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no excuse there to say, no, I get the injury, or we play Wednesday, we play that. So I think this year should be his year. He should play smart.
Even to add on the first thing with Allegri, should he be replaced? At times last year, and it was my emotions getting to me, but I was very, Allegri out.
I wish I could go back to all the group chats and saying, "Fuck, this guy is useless."
No, Joe, he's pissed me off with the formations he goes with and just some of the things he does. But at the end of the day, man, you put any coach, like a less experienced coach, in that position that he was in last year, would not have handled it the way he did.
Yeah.
To get the thing before the World Cup, Juve was on like an 8-game winning streak. Even after that, I think they continued for 1 or 2 games, and then they kind of went on a drought, but they picked it right back up.
Mm-hmm.
Going through that whole points thing, do we have it? Do we not have it? Like, that's tough for a coach. Like, never mind for a team, like for a coach to kind of still keep everybody together, deal with the press and say the right things. Like, he was the perfect guy for that. And that's why, like, I'm happy they, gave him the opportunity to continue and try to do something with this team.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves it. Now it's make or break for him. Now this is a year, you finally have like a normal year. There's no World Cup in between. The competitions thing that might, favor or might, not favor us. That we're going to see. But now he actually has the time to do it. And now this year, if he fails again and it's kind of the same kind of thing like last year without the bullshit, then I would say move on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's always the easy way. Sack him, bring in someone else. And if they don't work, sack him, bring in someone that you can't do. If you're a big team, big teams don't do that.
You want to build with one coach.
You can't be Inter that had like 5 coaches in 2 years.
Hey, buddy,
that 1 year.
Look at Roma. We had 8 coaches in like 5 years.
I'm
not one to speak.
But Roma now it's getting a little bit better. But it was a harder time to attract coaches before. Yeah,
King. Giuntoli came in and he had the task of kind of making Juve great again. Mm-hmm. He did it with Napoli. We saw how well he did with the way he negotiated and stuff like that. But seeing as how Juve didn't have multiple competitions this year to worry about, like Champions League and whatever, he just offloaded a lot of dead weight. Out of all the players like that were sold, like Zakaria, Rovella, I don't even know at this point.
Arthur got loaned with options, so that might be he might be for sure gone depending how he goes in Fiorentina. Who else did we get rid of? Quadrado left on a free. He left early, but we got Pellegrini and Rovella were both to Lazio.
Yeah.
And those are guys that we've been stuck with and couldn't get rid of, and now finally, dude, we got our first sale in like 2 years.
I was gonna ask, do you think that's good business? Like losing a guy like Rovella, will that come back to Juve and be like, fuck, we should have kept him?
Well, but don't forget, in stuff like that, we've seen all the years that there was teams when you have look at the Inter when they had what was Coutinho,
Coutinho,
when he was young and everything. And the first year Inter now this and then look what happened.
Yeah, he became a star.
He became a star. So sometimes it's very hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think don't forget this guy had to get money
Mhm.
because of the events.
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
problem. Well, so far I think I was reading yesterday. I think that so far they made or something like 50 million.
Mhm.
So their thing is to get about 100 million.
Yeah.
But anyway, to me, I think he's doing good. But you got to get rid of all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot
Before
keep,
you start moving on to
before you
new
start
guys.
moving on and everything. So I think right now I'll give him credit for what he's doing. The only thing that I still wouldn't like that it happened to get Lukaku for.
Wow. I was gonna actually ask you,
No.
would you
That-
sell Vlahovic though? If somebody came in with like 80 mil, 100 mil, would you say yes for that for Vlahovic?
Well, I would say if their intention to get something, like a good player or something,
Mhm.
maybe I would still feel bad, but I would say, okay, maybe it's a good move. But for that exchange, first, I wouldn't want Lukaku in my team. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone wants Lukaku.
I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever met a player that's more hated
Oh,
amongst
yeah, dude.
multiple
Every fan
bases.
base. That's the one thing I think Juve and Inter fans can agree on is the
Yeah.
hatred for
Chelsea
him now.
despises him. Now I saw
He does-
Spurs
he
actually
does
are
it
starting
to
to
him.
hate
He
him.
does it to himself, man. Honestly,
Yeah,
like he's
because
just
he says, this is my home. I love these guys. I love these guys. Then he tries to sign for Juve.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a thing like he was trying to sign for Juve.
Yeah.
He was trying to push them to sign him. Like, what are you doing,
Like,
man?
what-
Like,
Yeah.
But even Milan, I think, was.
he got offered. He got offered to Milan as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
You
about
guys
Saudi
kick it off.
Arabia? I mean, they offered
They
him good
they,
money.
they offered him money,
They
but
offered
he wants to play in Europe still.
Oh, he wants
So that's
to-
why he was trying to push a move to Juve. Now that the whole Inter thing happened, he's like, okay, let me try to go there and try inserting there. And obviously, Allegri would love a guy like Lukaku. Because at the end of the day, like his hold up play, his ball, his back against the net, like he's still a very good player and probably one of the best doing it.
I mean, he's strong. Yeah.
He like as that kind of player, like he's still phenomenal. Obviously, his weight thing like that, like he has to get to go on a strict diet again. His finishing, like he's very wishy-washy, but at the end of the day, like he's still Belgium's top goal scorer.
yeah.
He's experienced, what you're gonna get. Don't like that Vlahovic swap thing, but there's the only thing I'm really gonna say about it is I get it because the money they would be making off a guy they already invested heavily in.
Yeah.
And it's a guy that has a chronic injury that, in a couple of years, he could be playing amazing for Juve, and we end up
Yeah,
selling him for over
yeah.
100 mil, or he ends up leaving for free, and we lost out on a $65 million investment. That's where I see Juve, playing it safe now. But in turn, now with not doing that and keeping the fans happy and keeping Chiesa and Vlahovic, you have to sacrifice guys like Rovella and take that
Yeah,
hit. And
yeah.
if he becomes something amazing, I'm not going to be too sour because at least he's Italian. He'll be it's better for the Italian national team.
Yeah, he'll get that
And
playing
he'll get
time,
that playing time under Sadi. I just hope because he was a player that he was kind of with Monza and as soon as he came back with Juve, got injured right away.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I hope kind of doesn't keep happening and he can kind of stay healthy and consistent this year because I want to see how he does with Lazio because I feel like that'll be an amazing team. For
I
him.
hope not.
Obviously, I know. I mean, me too. Me too.
'Cause I don't want Lazio to do well.
I don't like Lazio, but I like Rovella, and I would. I
Yeah.
want to see the best. I want the best for him.
Yeah. Roma or Lazio? Who does better than who this year?
Oh, this year, I would still say Roma.
Yeah. We're probably not, though.
I was gonna say
Tony just said that to
Roma.
be, Tony just say that to be nice to me because
I would
he
say-
don't
no,
cry.
no.
I'd say
I
Roma
would say-
too.
I would say
Who do you have finishing in the top 4 for Italy this year?
This
Like in
year?
Serie A, sorry.
In Serie A,
Doesn't have to be in order. You could just say the 4 teams you think.
I would say that probably Juventus, Milan, Inter. And that's the hardest thing because it could be Roma, Atalanta.
I was going to say Atalanta did
Yeah,
well
Atalanta
too
is
with
gonna be-
Scamacca and all
will be
those
wild.
guys.
He's like Napoli too.
Napoli. Well, of course, yeah. Now, I think this year it's going to be a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Except
that
the Juventus is going to come first. That's all.
He's calling it first. We got to go back to that. This is
Hey,
true.
I did say that I do think they will be the best equipped this year. They have the team already.
they
Like,
have the team, and
they're only
not
focusing on that too.
Yeah.
There should be no excuse. Like their team has always been decent. It's just been like.
man.
Anyways, wait, you didn't even tell us the 4th
Hey,
team.
What's the 4th team?
I would have to say Napoli then.
Napoli.
Yeah.
You don't
Come
believe
on,
here
wait.
we come again.
Before we move on, I want to do my top 4. I want to
I
let the people
man.
know my top 4
Okay.
quickly, not in any order. Juve, Milan, Roma, and Lazio.
Wow.
I think Inter and Napoli both out of top 4.
See, I was gonna say for me, Juve, Inter, Atalanta, and then Lazio.
Maybe in a way, like I say, because since we're discussing about Milan, for what I did, and then defense, it's not there. There could be
That's why, like, Milan's gonna get exposed. Maybe some of that high line doesn't work anymore.
Well, the only way we're gonna find out is as
next
the season
week.
Progresses.
Next week we find out.
Well, yeah,
no, just one game.
First game. Yeah.
Oh, the first game.
I know.
The first game.
I know you guys like cutting the season early because after the first 5 games, you guys are always
the first
undefeated.
8 games were doing well.
Then you guys are undefeated, first place. Holy shit, the Roma's in first place. And then after that, it's just
everyone
downhill.
in the group chat tells you, "Oh, Roma's doing like wonders right now." It's like,
Joe learned his lesson after it was like the 6th game 2 years ago. Yeah, keep talking from the bottom of the table.
Every year it's the same thing. I send a screenshot of Roma ahead.
Just last year, you Roma finished on top.
Yes, but I didn't even rub it in.
I gave you credit, man. I said Roma had a good season this year and a good Europa League run.
On the other side of things, Serie A does start next week, so we'll see what goes on. We'll see how that all unfolds in front of us. But earlier this weekend actually, there was a bomb that was dropped within Italy. Not physically.
Everyone, I think, felt it, but no one actually saw it coming.
Yeah, there was rumors leading up to this whole Mancini resigning that Allegri was supposed to actually
next
year after the Euro, he was supposed to become the coach, but he just decided to resign. Like right now, whatever. To, why do you think Mancini resigned?
Well, I would say what I would think is maybe 2 things. One, because eventually he's going to go for the money, because I'm pretty sure there was some kind of connection there, and you don't leave the kind of money that they offer you.
Yeah.
One. Or the second one, because, what is it? Barzagli and
Buffon.
And Buffon, they're going to be part of the team. So I'm not sure if there is something over there that he didn't like or something. I don't know. That's the way I see it.
Do you think that the owner, Gravina? Oh, you're getting a phone call. You're famous.
Oh, Tony's pretty famous over here. He's getting.
See, we told you he was a scout.
He's getting a phone call mid epi. So
it's one of his talents that he scouted, and
he didn't tell them that he was recording right now. So
no, actually it was Mancini.
See, Mancini was breaking the news to Tony and telling him.
That's why
he wanted to ask me what's best for him.
Tony asked him after the episode. Tony's gonna have a talk with Mancini and let him know what his best option is to go forward with. But
so you were saying,
sorry.
Out of the 2, like the whole, them trying to put like Buffon, all these veteran guys, or the Saudi, which one do you think it was more of?
I would say more the money.
More the Saudi Arabia
thing?
Yes.
I gotta agree. How do you you just resigned and then right away, like the second it happens following that day, there's news about you agreed on a deal, 20 mil a year. I gotta agree that he might have had this intention the second they came up to him. He's like, you know what? Let me resign first.
Yeah. He knew what he was, and I feel like that whole with the Buffon, Barzagli, even De Rossi, all these veteran guys coming in that he's saying he didn't want that and they were pushing it to him. I feel like that was just the excuse so people don't, because now if he goes to Saudi, everyone's like, oh my god, he left for the money. Fuck him, this guy's a dickhead. Now with this, with these guys coming in, they weren't allowing me to choose who I wanted, and they were just forcing these guys on me. That was just an excuse for him, so then he doesn't look like the bad guy.
Yeah, but that would be a super excuse because they just went in now. What was it, about a week ago?
Yeah,
they were announced and everything. So come on, you probably didn't even meet them yet.
That's what I know. That's what I mean.
I think that's an excuse.
For sure. I feel like that was not when I saw that as the reasoning. I was like, man, there's no way this is true. And then an hour later, I saw Saudi Arabia offered him this contract for 2-3 years. I was like, yeah, okay, that's the reason why he actually left.
Yeah. I just think there's a lot behind it. When he was coaching the Euro team, at that point, I'm pretty sure he was just in charge of that senior squad.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, they said, oh shit, Mancini's a decent coach. He's now in charge of all the youth level.
Yes.
So he was technically deemed our coordinator too. So we were supposed to share all the same tactics, this, that, whatever. Yeah. And I think it became too much for him and he wasn't really getting paid enough for it too. Then, it doesn't help that his best friend passed away, his assistant coach, stuff like that. A lot of people are talking about a guy named Gravina.
Told
do you want to?
My dad's favorite.
Do you want to explain who Gravina is?
Well, I think that Gravina should work in a post office or something. That's okay. For what I know about him is that he doesn't know nothing about soccer.
Yeah,
it's not somebody that plays soccer, so and everything.
Yeah.
And then plus it's very close friend with our friend from UEFA, Serie there.
Oh, Your guys
They're
Very,
buddy
very
buddies.
close friend. Which, as a matter of fact, Cheferin made Gravina vice president of UEFA. For what reason?
To fuck you even more.
It all comes back to you.
It all goes back to you.
Because he made some stupid comment when the Juventus were going through this. Because a good president of a league should step in and say, okay, no, he just wash his hands.
Yeah. The president should try to protect his teams and say,
Because
like, no.
to me, with this thing,
Those teams are the ones that make you money.
we were talking about Mancini too. To me, I think the big mistake was because when Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup, right there, the same night when we didn't qualify, they should both say goodbye.
Yeah. Do you think Gravina is as much to blame as Mancini for like not making the World Cup and stuff like that?
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I think with Gravina, like it always comes back to that whole thing that I read about, like the Baggio thing, how he submitted a document with how to reshape FIGC and stuff like that. And you see now, like, Italy still appoints these dinosaurs almost that don't know what they're talking about. They're businessmen. They're just there kind of for a paycheck. You know, they don't know what the heck's actually happening.
It's not just like in the movies, man. The mafia is a real thing. That's all it is.
Oh,
The whole thing's just like a big just mafia. Like they don't actually care about it. They don't put guys there that will actually make, you know, the system better and make the teams better. If they cared about that, you would have seen, you know, Baggio already working there, already being there and part of there. His plan was, you showed me it. It was amazing. He had an actual plan for the like Italian federation, Italian national teams going forward. Yeah, and they didn't give a fuck. He said, "Fuck you guys."
Not then, because that's what I wanted to to do.
I know
for the youth and everything, and they didn't. As soon as he started, they didn't give him a chance to anything, because that's why he says, "Okay, bye bye."
Yeah. Fuck
now,
you guys.
who would be better than Baggio?
One of the best.
That's what I mean.
But then again, there is, especially in the Italian, when we know about this. There is a lot of crooks. There is a lot of things that goes around.
Yeah, that's why only certain people.
You
can
do
be in
this,
charge.
you don't do that. Oh, but it looks like guy's getting involved. He wants to get involved with this. Okay, so make sure we get rid of him.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm a true Italian, but for all this, I feel bad.
Yeah. Do you think that Gravina getting like Buffon, Bonucci, Barzagli to come in, do you think that's so people will actually start to like him and think he's doing something properly?
Maybe he thinks that maybe people like it, but everybody hates him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even when I was in Italy, now when I just come back, and sometimes we're talking about this, and there is not one person that says about the Gravina. Sometimes you ask Gravina, goes, "Who's Gravina?" They don't even know who he is.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't even know for a while until you would tell me.
When I said there was a new president and everything, I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he's whatever, his this is that. I have no idea what this guy does.
I feel like he was the best puppet that they could have chosen to put in charge, because somebody that actually cares and that has a voice is not going to be in charge there because the FIGC won't allow it. They need someone there that they can tell what to do. He'll listen and follow instructions and pass it on, and that's it. Not going to question, not going to go over their head, nothing. And I feel like Gravina is that guy. Yeah. He's a dickhead that knows nothing about soccer.
Yeah. So now that we talked about Gravina, we talked about the committee and stuff like that. We kind of already know, like it was announced that Spalletti is going to be taking over as the coach of Italy August 16th. It's supposed to be announced, whatever.
Apparently.
But before we even talk about Spalletti, do you think that somebody else should have been the coach of Italy?
You know what? I'm pretty sure we have few good coaches, but right now you got to think, okay, you take Conte. Spalletti I could see him, because to me, I always consider myself a gentleman.
Yeah.
I love the coach.
Yeah.
But you take Conte, he will be good, but it's the money.
Yeah.
We go back to that. You think that Conte is going to go there and say, 2 million, 3 million a year is going to go coach? No.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Today it's the money.
Yeah.
People look for the money. Now we got this Saudi Arabian over here that come over here and they dish us money. No more you see player when they were playing in a team. They score a goal, they get a shirt, I'm this. And then 2 days later, he's signed over there.
Yeah. I think with Conte, I was talking about this with my brother and my dad the other day. Like Conte would be ideal because he'll get you. Like he could maybe win a trophy for you.
Yeah.
He's a good coach, whatever. But he's at that point where he wants to make all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And he knows if he goes to any team, he's gonna get 10 mil a year or something like that.
Easy.
With a national team, you're never getting that kind of money unless again you're going to coach Saudi Arabia. Like that's where you'll get it.
Yeah.
And I think like Conte's, I like him, but I just don't think he would be a long-term coach for Italy. And I think
he would just for one run, like for the next Euro Cup, and then you would see him
like he did already.
Like he did, exactly.
You know,
he's not that like for like the national team coach, and it's not not saying to be like they have to be older. They have to be at the point in their career where, you know, they've made the money, you know, they're happy with the career they had coaching, like, you know, the like club teams. With the national team, it's a lot not easier going, but, you know, you're not training every day.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of more just kind of watching the players, seeing who you're going to call up, and it's a lot less stressful. And I feel like Spalletti kind of fits that better than Conte.
Yeah.
Conte he's got too much passion. He's like a young Mourinho. Like, he needs to be coaching like there's a reason why Mourinho's not going to a national team yet. He's not ready, man. You need to be at that point where you're like, okay, you know what?
You're ready for a vacation almost.
Let me go international and you know, and see how that goes.
Yeah, but see the difference there is too. It's because in the olden days, when you take like Berzot, when you won, okay, these were people that was an honor. When he would call you to be a coach, you almost get a stroke because that's what they wanted. But today, with all this money business, there is no more. There's no more hard. There is nothing.
Yeah.
They don't look at that because to you, if you want to be the coach of Italy, you will run over there. Just paying for my rent and everything, I'll be the coach. And that's why today it's hard. Who are you going to get now?
Yeah.
That will be available.
For me, the biggest issue with this whole thing that happened, and this just shows you how poorly managed like the FIGC is and the Italian team. If this thing, you know, with Mancini, you knew it wasn't going to work, or you had a feeling like, okay, you know what, this guy might leave. Do this earlier, get rid of him when they should have gotten rid of him, and you try to go for a guy like Ancelotti. Because that was the perfect guy and he was willing to come to a national team. Now ends up choosing Brazil and is going there and is going to do phenomenal for Brazil, man. Like, no, I think he will, man. That guy, he's going to bring Brazil a World Cup. I'll reclip this video after. He's going to win Brazil a World Cup, man.
I think Italy wins one before Brazil, to be honest.
No.
Crazy moment in my... I don't know why I think that, but I just don't see Brazil.
Brazil, they got a good team, and especially with him, like, with the coach, like, the style he plays, with that Jogo Bonito, a little bit flair added to it, man, he's gonna do phenomenal. And he could have done the same thing with Italy, because Italy have a lot of young talent and a lot of guys that I think would flourish under him. But Italy's stupid. They don't think, you know, ahead of, you know, for the future and think of ahead. And they lose out on a guy like Ancelotti to Brazil.
But you know, Sammy, I think that if Mancini would have quit when we didn't qualify,
when he should have,
because right now we're playing for the Euro, right?
Yeah,
for the Euro. I think that because Ancelotti always said that before he wants to coach the Italy team, he always, and I'm pretty sure that it would have probably come.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's 100%. That's what pisses me off.
So, but they didn't do that. So probably now he goes, okay, I'm not going to wait for these guys.
What am I going to do? Wait around? Exactly.
That's what pisses me off about the whole thing, because like it's like Mancini knew who was at the doorstep. He knew Ancelotti wanted to coach national teams and like stuff like that. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I get why they maybe would want to stay with Mancini. I don't think Mancini was the right idea to stay with after he, like you guys said, once he lost what's it called? Didn't make the World Cup.
Right
See you later, you're done. But I could understand that they wanted a coach to finally be like long term.
Yeah,
you know, they build with them, they grow with them. Yeah, not just keep on sacking their coach. But for me, I think the second an opportunity arises for a guy of like Ancelotti's standard, I think you should jump and take that chance. You know what I mean? Like that's something like, you know, he's at the end of his career coaching wise. He wants to coach a national team so he could eventually retire. But you'd at least get 2 to 3 competitions out of him. You know what I mean?
He would stay in, and if they have a good team and a good team for the future, that you know he would stay on.
Yeah, exactly. Like look at Vicente Del Bosque. He was at the end of his career.
Yeah.
But he stayed there. He created a dynasty with Spain. But then they go like back to back to back or something like that. Like
Euro, World Cup, Euro.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. He stayed there, stayed for 3
that.
tournaments, and he's like, all right, guys, thank you for everything. I'm retiring now. Like I'm done.
What more do you need to do?
And that could have been Ancelotti. So you said you would take Al. I was gonna say you could take Al. Yeah, you are Al.
I am. I'll take me.
You would take Ancelotti as your coach.
Oh yeah.
Now
I would have done that.
If let's just say in a hypothetical world, like a non-existent world, like Italy decided to get a non-Italian coach. Like anyone was on the table, whatever. Do you have any idea of who you would select for Italy? Like you could choose anyone, like Zidane, Enrique, Pep Guardiola. Obviously within reason. Pep is coaching City.
Pep's like that. Honestly, man, one guy I would be interested in to bring him in and see how he can do is Zidane. Like I think Zidane, with you saw what he did with Madrid. You saw he has the experience, and people still say he's not fully experienced. The guy was learning, and he was under Ancelotti for 3 years at Madrid.
Yeah.
Like that you have one of the best coaches and one of the best teachers for you at your disposal for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
After he leaves, you get appointed and you continue that success and make this team even better attacking wise.
Yeah.
I think Zidane is just being wasted now, just sitting at home. I know he's waiting for the perfect opportunity, but if Italy, kind of broke the rule, I don't know how long have they ever had a non-Italian?
No.
They've never had a non-Italian coach. So if they broke their rule, or the first time in history, went that direction and brought in a guy like that, I think honestly he would be very interesting for the team. I think he would like that. That would be my guy.
No, to me, if I would have taken, I would be Zidane too. But to me, I still think that if you're Italian, you got to be Italian coach.
Yeah.
I hate, like for Ancelotti, for as much I love him, and he's going with Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm going to hate him.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because I agree, like your national team should only be filled with your nationality.
Yeah,
I do agree with that.
I agree 100% with that. But I mean, you're starting to see teams do that now over like the last couple of years. Starting to see more and more teams try, use other coaches that aren't, from that nation.
I feel like it's always been Italian coaches too,
but
that always want to coach, like Capello with England, Trapattoni with Ireland.
Lippi went to China after.
Yeah, didn't someone coach Russia too at one point? Was it Capello? I think it might have been Capello still.
Coach Russia.
Yeah, as Italians always have to be different.
Yeah, they want to be different, trial different. Yeah, let me go coach Russia out for a little bit, see how Russia does.
Get some money quickly, We did get signed Spalletti though. They said by August 16th they're going to confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to happen because De Laurentiis wants $3 million for it. But besides that part, because I'm sure they'll figure it out for Italy. Do you think getting Spalletti was the right idea for Italy?
Yeah.
Right now with what's available.
For what's available, yeah.
Do you think could you actually see them staying with him long term and him doing well with Italy, or like?
No, I think that Spalletti will do good. Because I think the way he communicates with the players, the way he is, to me, I think he'll do good. Because I'm pretty sure that maybe a lot of players hated Mancini.
Yeah,
because Mancini had his ups and downs and everything,
and he had his favorites that he had.
He had his favorites. Where when you see Spalletti, look, I mean, you see him during the game,
he'll tell you if you're playing shit. He'll tell you straight up.
When there is that they ask him questions, he always got an answer. And he just said it the way it is.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck around.
No, I think the team they're gonna like the players they're gonna love him.
Yeah.
We're going to this again.
I was gonna say you go.
I'll say with Spalletti, could you see him in like a year or two? Kind of do what Conte did, and be like, I need to be coaching a club. Like I'm not ready for this, and step down and go back to a team. Or do you think he would be?
I would say it depends how the Italy team do.
In the competition.
In the competition, because now let's say we're gonna make it for the European.
And we gotta hopefully make the World Cup. Fingers crossed.
That's what I'm saying.
Baby steps. Make the Euro first.
And I think that if he'll do that, he'll stay.
You think, if he's successful and he's doing well?
I can see him that he'll stay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think for like Spalletti, I think it's a recipe made for success with him.
Yeah,
he's older now. He's done everything he had to. He finally got
because how old is Spalletti now?
64, 65. I think he was the oldest manager to ever win the Scudetto.
So really,
that's what I mean. Like this is a swan song. This is what he's worked for, kind of thing. I think with a guy like Spalletti too, like he has balls.
Yeah.
Like you look at what he did with Roma. He turned a whole fucking team against him because he looked at Totti and said, "No, you're gonna be benched. I have other players." You know what I mean? Like he did it with Napoli. He's not known to he doesn't have his favorites, like you guys said. Like if you're not doing well or there's someone better, I'm putting you.
He'll be straight up with you, man. You can be the best player on the team, by far, and you carry this team. If you play shit, he'll let you know and tell you that you have to do better, or else you're going to be on the bench.
But like just said, you do it to Totti.
That's what I mean. Like Totti was a god for the Roma.
He's
literally
he's
to
not
this
scared,
day,
man.
he was literally every game he played against us after that moment. Yeah. The fans would boo him, throw lighters at him, throw bottles at him.
Yeah.
Only recently did they actually give him a round of applause because Totti came out and said, "Hey, we're friends again. Yeah. We're all good." Like now, like they're like, "Oh, okay, Spalletti's cool. We're cool."
Yeah, he's actually pretty.
He's
cool
not a
guy.
bad guy, but if you're doing that to a guy of like Totti to like that team, like
that's what I'm saying. I didn't have anybody because like now, like the team, like the national team now, it's young. Like there's not really like a star like that, like a Totti that like I can use an example. But let's just say like a Chiesa in 8-9 years, he's like he ends up being like a Totti Del Piero. Like he's a phenomenon for the Italian national team. and then he starts playing bad. If Spalletti's still there, but he'll bench him no problem.
Even look current day. Mancini was calling respectfully here Bonucci,
Yeah.
Toloi, Acerbi, Berardi, Immobile. Now, okay, Berardi I might be critical of. I get that. But Immobile shouldn't have seen the field after the Euro.
Mhm.
You did your job. See you later. Thank you.
Berardi, I
Acerbi-
would have given a break after those couple of those misses.
Yeah,
against,
like you saw he was
Macedonia.
maybe out of form, whatever. Bonucci gone. Acerbi, respectfully, he did great. Made it to the Champions League final, but gone.
Yeah.
Toloi, gone.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like everyone wants to say,
good enough to make the national team.
Italy's
Somehow he
shit
did.
now. They have the worst players. It's like, no, Mancini's just calling up the wrong guys. But in saying that, my fear is like there's a lot of stuff that I read that it's like Gravina was actually calling the players up.
Mhm.
It wasn't Mancini's team. And my question is now, do you think that with appointing Spalletti as the manager, do you think Gravina will try to do the same stuff with Spalletti?
Well, I'm telling you, knowing Spalletti, he's a type of guy that he tells you before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure before he signs the paper over there,
Yeah.
he's going to say a few things.
Yeah.
To him, he will not take because the first thing, because a few times Spalletti said in some of in the interview and everything, and he says, "I'm not a puppet." Because I can remember what somebody asked him.
Yeah.
Goes, "I'm not a puppet. I say what I think. I say what I say," and that's where he stays.
Yeah. Well, look at him even with like how he handled the whole contract extension with what's his name with De Laurentiis.
Yes.
He extended him automatically. He's like, "What the fuck you doing? I'm not signing for you. I'm done.
yeah.
I'm leaving."
Yeah, he's like, I told him, I wanted to sit down, renegotiate. I think I deserve it. That's where we left off, and then next thing I know, I get an email saying that the thing got re-triggered and the contract's going through. Like, I never signed anything. I never agreed to. We were supposed to sit down. And he got pissed off by that. He called it out, man. A lot of coaches would just kind of keep him to themselves and be like, "Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna step down because we had a scuffle in the locker room."
Yeah, but there had to be something with De Laurentiis.
There was. Everybody that leaves said the same thing about him. That he's an asshole. He's a cocksucker.
Spalletti is a type of guy that doesn't take shit from anybody. He says that's where. So De Laurentiis must have told him something or whatever. Maybe the way he was telling him things, and Spalletti didn't like it.
Okay,
I gotta see that because he would have stayed this year.
Oh yeah,
he would have stayed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it would.
Yeah. Well, I like to be a conspiracy theorist. I think maybe he went on the sabbatical because somebody told him that Mancini was going to be leaving, and then maybe that's what, I don't know. I like to hope maybe, but you guys are probably right.
No,
it was probably De Laurentiis causing
I
problems.
actually thought about that. I was thinking about that today. Actually, while I was at work, I was looking through my phone. I was like, I saw like some articles about like Spalletti, the whole thing that's going on. I was thinking, I wonder if like this whole like sabbatical thing was like he knew, this was going to be an opening, and he kind of just took this to kind of take the break, set himself up that when it does become available, he's ready, whether it's now or whether it's middle of the season, because maybe they didn't know when Mancini was going to step down. Like maybe they were like, oh yeah, he could step down in September, or he can also step down in December.
Yeah,
and if he's still with Napoli, he can't just get up and leave. It's gonna be a whole disaster.
I think
that was probably the safest bet and the best way for him to do it.
Yeah, I think they would have if Mancini didn't resign now. I actually think like Allegri would have been the guy they.
Oh yeah, next summer,
because like Juve would have been okay with parting ways with him because Juve's always been okay with like that. But I think he would have actually been the coach. But timing has it that.
But don't forget Mancini for what he did to do what. To just quit 3 weeks. It's almost 3 weeks before the next.
I was
game.
gonna say it's sometime in September. Like I think second week of September.
You're not a man. I'm sorry that you don't do that.
Yeah, dude.
A national team 3 weeks before.
Yeah,
at least you get up and leave. Next year when you finish, it's my last year. You said before.
After you lose the Nations League or whatever happened there, after you lose that game, turn around and be like, okay, hey, I'm resigning now. You have time to figure it out till your next game. See you later.
Not you wait, like you said, 2 weeks before you're about to go back with the national team. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna step down, because I don't like the choice they're making, and not because the 60 mil that Saudi Arabia is offering me.
Yeah, see, I still don't understand how even that that's fucking crazy to me. Getting that money as a coach, like your dad said earlier in the garage, like it's a coach only could do so much.
Yeah,
it's the players that play the game, and you're gonna pay a coach fucking 20 mil a year to just hope his players want to perform.
Saudi's got way too much money, man. They got to get rid of it, and this is the best way to do it.
That's fucked. I don't know.
And it's nothing to do with international, but it just goes back to the Super League, and everyone was against it a couple years ago. Watch, give this a little, another year with Saudi buying more of these the Prem guys that used to be like the only they can afford it.
Yeah.
Now Saudi's has even more money than them.
Yeah.
and they start going over there, if they start losing that, then you wait to start seeing all those English teams start turning and say, oh, yeah, we want to do the Super League. The Super League, that's what we got to do. I'm telling you, 2 years, Super League's happening.
Yeah.
That's where
it's already on that path.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's literally 2 teams that have 2 leagues that have the money to compete. Put aside Bayern Munich, put aside Real Madrid and Barca, because again, Bayern might have all the money in the world, but nobody else in the Bundesliga has money.
No one has money.
Real Madrid and Barca might have money. Well, Barca doesn't have money, but somehow they have money.
They still make
those 2 teams, they're the ones, the money ones.
Yeah.
The rest have nothing.
Yeah.
They have to sell players in order to get
Italy.
something.
We all know no one has
Italy's
money.
been broke. Roma finally spent the money. We spent $5 million in 3 years, and we're bragging about it right now.
Yeah.
You look at that, and the Prem spends a ludicrous amount of money. Saudi spends it too.
And I was getting to a point where Saudi, the Prem can't even keep up with Saudi. They can't even
it's
offer
crazy
close
because
to what
it's just, we always harp on this, but something like that has to happen. The Super League has to happen just in order to kind of make it an equal playing ground in regards to gone are the times that Ruud Gullit is okay with signing for Burnley because they're competitive. Let's fire it up right now. Alan Shearer is playing for Newcastle because one of the greatest strikers. Why? Because it's close to home for me. I like this. It's home. It's crazy to me.
Exactly.
Well, but what is it? The president from PSG. He's from Saudi, isn't he? From what is he?
He's from
No, he's Qatar.
Oh, sorry. He's Qatar.
Okay.
He's Qatar.
Still there.
Yeah.
In that
Newcastle,
area.
Saudi. Newcastle, Saudi.
Yeah.
My boys.
But now you think if these guys already that went to Newcastle and PSG, this guy with the band over there, what would it be? What would they be?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you think the only reason why this guy can spend money because look who's buying.
Yeah.
But now the league that's now says, okay, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna start buying now too.
Oh, you wait 2-3 years. Sometimes I don't think we're gonna be watching soccer because if it gets like this. It's
my dad already stopped watching. He stopped caring. He even said, I'd rather watch the young, the under 20 World Cup and stuff like that, because that's the only ones that play proper. And other than that, I don't give a fuck for it anymore. I'm like,
it's true, man.
I gotta get to that point. It's almost giving me a heart attack. But on that note, Tony, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for joining us today, Dad.
I'm sorry I was late. There was traffic on the road.
I
got here a little bit late.
There was traffic in the sky. That's what he's trying to say. He took his helicopter today.
His work's 6 minutes away. Today it took him 7 minutes. So that extra minute, it really messed him up.
No, he had the phone call.
Oh no, that was during. He's a busy guy. We're lucky that we got him in today. When we did, we got him for 50 minutes. We were talking, and you know what? Hey, that's an accomplishment because it's tough to get Tones in here. He's a busy guy.
It's a bigger guy. Yeah. Thank you very much.
But Tony, Dad,
no problem.
Thank you for joining us today.
Anytime.
It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you.
I love Gravina.
I think you guys can tell he loves Gravina. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at UltrasXI. Check out our YouTube channel. Videos are up weekly. And until that note, guys, we got an exciting weekend of Serie A finally back, and we'll talk about that next week. Hopefully, banter Roma a little bit.
No, I hope not.
Praise Juve a little bit. Hopefully, start off on the good note. But I mean, Roma's gonna go 8 games.
I'm gonna have IBS.
8 wins in a row. Jose's he's on top of the world.
I already feel.
We'll see how it goes, guys. Ciao.
See you later.
Thank you.